Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, you filthy sickos. Welcome to a special edition of Chatter Machine. I'm Kat.
And I'm Adam.
And we are both still in a bit of a food coma.
Yeah, Christmas dinner was heavy yesterday.
As it should be, I suppose.
As it should be.
We are recording this on Friday afternoon. We finally caught up on the broadcasts from the Hammerstein after spending the weekend there for Dynamite on 34th Street and Christmas Collision. Today we'll talk about our experience at the ballroom, all the incredible matches AEW served us, and do a little preview of World's End. Once again, we have an overabundance of great graps to talk about, so let's get started. First of all, Adam, how did you feel about the vibes at the Hammerstein? How was your experience?
I thought they were pretty impeccable. After our Full Gear experience, which left me a little bit, shall we say, with a little distaste in my mouth, not just from what happened there, but just some of the crowd.
Oh, well, yeah.
Some of the vibes of the crowd were off, but that was an arena show. And this Hammerstein crowd and the experience felt much more like a fun indie show ramped up. It had more of that energy.
I mean, our first AEW show was at the 2300 on Labor Day weekend this past August, and I just think the vibes of that were fairly similar to the vibes at the Hammerstein, but of course at the 2300 you had that special Philly touch. And Hammerstein felt like it really felt kind of good to be a New Yorker in a way that I did not feel at Full Gear.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be smaller, maybe more like the Philly shows we had, but also being more in our neck of the woods and Full Gear having been sort of in our neck of the woods. I just wasn't sure. And I was well pleased.
The crowd, generally speaking, the crowd was quite hot. I think we were kind of tuned down in the mix a bit in the broadcast. So if you thought the crowd wasn't hot watching on TV, that was incorrect. The crowd was quite hot most of the time. And I didn't hear too much like stuff that made me feel grossed out or unsafe or unwelcome.
Yeah, there were like one or two guys who tried to start a chant or something.
But they got shut down.
Yeah,
they either got shut down or like nobody joined them.
Yeah.
So they stopped. And that felt really good. And we'll get to the MJF bit. Of course, there were people cheering for MJF because it is New York, but there was a loud contingent of us chanting against him.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Anyway, so the vibes were good, okay? The primary thing that happened over the weekend was wrapping up the C2 round robin stage. So we're getting down to the wire. On Dynamite, we opened with Orange Cassidy versus Takeshita. The other C2 matches we had on Dynamite were Roddy Strong versus Máscara Dorada and Pac versus Jack Perry. So we started off hot with OC versus Takeshita, which a match I was super looking forward to. We started with Orange tossing his sunglasses right at Take's chest, and then Takeshita goes to put them on his face.
And Orange wouldn't let him put them on, which is kind of a big deal.
Very fun, yeah. How dare you?
You can always tell how Orange feels about someone, whether he lets them wear his glasses or not.
Yeah, that is kind of the thing, isn't it? We had a quick near pinfall, one of several Orange Cassidy near pinfalls that we would see over the course of the weekend. But he got that seatbelt mousetrap pin in on Takeshita, and Paul Turner, of course, did not give him the 3 count.
Paul. Curse you.
Paul. This was the beauty of the C2. This was the first of many matches over the weekend where I just kept saying, God, I just love both of these guys so much. I just hope they have fun. Takeshita standing firm against OC's drop kicks was very funny to me.
That was funny, yeah.
And then when we watched the broadcast afterward, we got to hear Don Callis demand that Takeshita rip Orange's pants off and choke him with it. And Don, I'm in, please. I don't think I've ever agreed so much with you. I would also like to see that. Yeah, don't threaten us with a good time. Thank you, Don. Make it happen. Tony Khan, book it.
Wasn't there something back when? Oh, I'm thinking of when Fletcher had difficulty ripping his pants off.
Oh, the wardrobe malfunction. Yeah.
Different conversation about I'd like to see that, but that wasn't.
That was very different. Very different. Anyway,
it's a common theme.
It is. Pants difficulty. So before we get back to the C2, we got a little promo between Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin. This promo actually, I believe, mostly occurred live on Sunday, and then they put it on Saturday's broadcast. And in fact, I think there was a bit of a error in how they were showing it to us in the ballroom.
Yeah.
So we got to see a lot more of it on the broadcast than we got to see on the live show. I will say, while this was airing, there there were a few people in our section wondering loudly why Gabe Kidd is so mad at Darby Allin. And I had to be like, Darby put him in a body bag and dragged him behind his truck. Hello?
That is correct. I will say I also forgot about that because I feel like we haven't seen Gabe Kidd in so long. And
yeah.
His membership in the Death Riders is kind of like, oh yeah, he's there too.
Yeah, it's all a bit weird. I'm pretty indifferent about this matchup, honestly, but so they announced the match for World's End, and we'll get to a World's End preview after we talk about everything we got to see. But moving along, we also then got the announcement for the FTR and Bang Bang Gang Chicago Street Fight. We did get a promo from Stoke on the ramp that they, for some reason, decided not to use in the broadcast. I think it may have been edited for time.
Yeah, that was
They really ran over a lot, especially on the collision.
I recall feeling a little during his promo on the ramp. Well, there was a lot of booing, but that's not usually
well, that's
problem.
normal.
That.
We were booing the shit out of Stoke, and that's what we
normal.
do.
But I recall feeling a little bit like it felt like he was maybe responding to something we hadn't seen or heard about yet. So maybe they just decided to tighten it up.
Yeah, maybe they just decided it didn't work. It's fine. I would have loved to see FTR or the Bang Bang Gang show up, but again, like not really any time. This was all about the C2.
All about the C2.
And then we came into Roddy Strong versus Máscara Dorada. And I think this match is really where the crowd started coming into our own. We belted Feliz Navidad to Dorada, which was really fun. And even though there's some videos circulating online about that, and I don't think the videos really do us justice. I think we did a pretty good job, including with all the Spanish. Plenty of Spanish-speaking folks in the audience. We had a grand old time.
And I think it reflects that you're kind of correct that this is the crowd coming into its own, because there's a part of live shows where like the crowd's feeling itself out. Like, what kind of crowd are we? And this is kind of like, oh, we're a Feliz Navidad crowd.
We're having fun.
Some of us are just picking up that that's the kind of crowd we are, so we're a little off kilter. But...
Yeah. And then we start getting into like UK style, like Roddy Strong.
Yeah.
You know, we're having a great time. And then our buddy Henry apparently during this match started a "We want back shots" chant. And I didn't hear this on the broadcast. Maybe they just like blocked us out on purpose. But our section was pretty loud.
Pretty loud, yeah.
Pretty loud and demanding back shots. And I'm going like, really, guys? Are we doing phrasing? Hello? What are we doing?
What are we talking about? Can we be clear here?
The crowd was really rowdy, but I think mostly wholesome, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Regarding the actual match, Dorada jumping through the turnbuckles into that arm drag on the floor fucking rocked.
That was really impressive.
I love both of them, and of course, like Roddy not getting a point in this match was like really heartbreaking. But I love Dorada.
I have to shout out Dorada's pink and gold gear. I don't recall if we've seen it before, but it's just
Máscara Rosada.
Really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool. Love that shit. Great match. Really painful for Roddy, but you know, we'll get to what happened in the final match. Then we had our little face-to-face with Renee Paquette interviewing Kris Statlander and Jamie Hayter on the ramp. And we got to see some of it. You know, that's one of those things that if you're in the audience, you don't get the full close-up view.
Much better seeing the close-up later on, but it was good in person as well.
It was fun. They're definitely trying to build this up. I'm not really sure what happens if they both kind of stay in this tweeny space where they both are, or if one of them has a definitive heel turn.
Yeah.
We'll
talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to preview the World's End matches, but I'm definitely psyched to see where this goes. And
the energy is certainly interesting. The attempts at some violence and the Cosmic Killer.
Yes, very interesting.
Arm wear that we couldn't see in the crowd. I appreciated seeing that close up.
Right. And after this, then we have MJF in action.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out he is against Dustin Waller, who I know we've seen before, and I know he's done some good, like people were excited to see him, and I unfortunately have only seen him do squash matches in AEW and maybe Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I will admit I did not remember him.
We've definitely seen him a little bit here and there, but we didn't have the full appreciation for his past work that I think some of our fellow audience members had. So we fully expected the squash match. And then, of course, MJF demands the microphone. And he's handed the microphone. And I'm going, motherfucker. People are clapping and cheering. And I'm sitting there in stone silence.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the people right around us in our section, well, first Hangman's music comes up. And we're like, yes. And then the people around us in our section suddenly are standing and turning and freaking out. And we see Hangman coming down the steps, right, there, like 3 or 4 people away from us. Oh my God. I was not expecting that. It was so exciting. And then Swerve then entered on the other side of the balcony, like the equivalent position on the other side of our balcony. So we had a pretty good view of Swerve too. And I wasn't expecting any of that. And I was so delighted.
It was thrilling. It was a great gift.
And you can see me on the you could definitely see me reacting on the broadcast. I wasn't sure if my like raised fists of fury would be in frame, but I was just so fucking pumped, especially listening to Hangman. And you can see me absolutely losing my shit on the broadcast, and it feels pretty good to see my stupid self flailing around.
I am not visible, but that's largely because I chose to sort of remain seated. I get a little tired of going up and down at events, plus like being a little tall.
You would hate the Catholic Church.
Well, yes. Is that the reason though? Okay, but I digress. But I also tend to like stay seated so other people can see, because I don't like feeling tall and blocking people. But I do know I also shouted out very loudly during Hangman's promo at one point, "Fuck yeah!" And that didn't make it on anywhere, but that's fine.
The Hangman Swerve clap back and then the beat down of MJF in the ring was very cathartic. It felt very satisfying. I actually have some mixed feelings about it, but the part that was satisfying for me was the precise use of words that both Hangman and Swerve chose to cut against MJF. They didn't have to do it like that.
They put some excellent thought into what they were going to say and how they were going to do it.
They did. So last week we talked about how we didn't like that MJF got to basically cut this terrible promo with this like racist, nasty sex predator shit, and then mic drop.
Yeah.
I still don't like that.
Yeah.
I still don't like that he got to do it. And frankly, the fact that this feels like it was all part of the grand plan it still rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Yeah.
But still felt really, really good just to hear a grown man who doesn't have to be saying or doing any of these things, specifically Hangman, calling him out for being outdated, misogynistic, bigoted. It felt so good. Like you could see, as soon as he says misogynistic, my fist is like, like it's sticking up, pale fist next a few people away from where Hangman is. And it really made me think, like, are you reading our Blue Sky feeds? Like, clearly you are. And so I know we're being worked. This is all part of it.
Yeah.
But I also can't help but wonder if some of that energy from Hangman and Swerve toward MJF was kind of shoot energy comparable to some of the promos against CM Punk near the end of his tenure with AEW. I don't want to get into speculating too much on that. I hope not, honestly. Like I hope they all get along. You know, like MJF, from everything I hear, like MJF the person is a very decent guy.
Right.
I personally don't like what he chooses to do with his character in this way, because I don't think that it makes his heelery stronger to use bigoted language.
Yeah.
Others disagree with me. I understand that. It's not for me, right?
Yeah.
But let's be accurate in saying that, like, he seems like he's an all right guy.
Yeah.
In real life,
from what little
we know.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping there isn't like actual simmering drama.
Yeah.
But it kind of like it really.
It's tough because
like a little rough.
It's an art form, and to the extent that people are going to be good at promos, like what you're really saying there is you want some measure of like acting and performance, right?
Yeah.
So like to be worked is like to be worked by a great dramatic actor. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, it's because of the weird nature of the art form. You can never quite tell, is it shoot energy bleeding in?
Yeah.
Is it like some resentment bleeding in like that? We know that's happened in other times.
In an ideal places, world, they sat down and they said, let's review the tape from these CM Punk drama moments. And like, let's try to channel that energy without meaning it, you know?
And it's,
sorry.
And it was extremely cathartic in the moment, I felt. And like, part of that also is what gives me mixed feelings, or just like, well, we'll never really know sort of thoughts about it, is if it was all planned out as a work of art, it is cathartic and great. But like, if I'm watching like a TV show or something where I know I'm going in expecting to see devious villains and then their rightful comeuppance, it's different. It's a little different when it's wrestling, when the deviousness comes at you out of the blue, and some people might be knocked off kilter in their real life, having seen that for like a week until the catharsis hits. It's like, there's a part of me that's like, did Hangman and Swerve agree to like have a sex pest brought up on TV?
I kind of think they didn't know what MJF was going to say.
Right.
And so in that sense, they may have known, like, he's going to say something really terrible and you're not going to get to talk back at this point.
Right.
And then after that segment, they decided what they were going to say. That's my feeling.
That's my headcanon.
My headcanon is not that they knew the content of what he was going to say, because I like to think that someone like Hangman would have been like, whoa there, partner. Like, that, Right. But yeah, like, and then the question of like, who are the people who are getting knocked off kilter by this, right?
Yeah.
It's not cis white guys.
Yeah.
It's other people that maybe you want to take care of a little bit in your fandom.
Well, we do think a few cis white guys got knocked off kilter by this one.
Apparently. So I'm not going to speak about the greater internet response to this. I can only say that on Blue Sky, I have seen no blowback.
Yeah.
And
people
I'm really,
talk about
and
it,
maybe that's my curation of my feed being better.
Yeah.
I'm just really glad I'm not on the other place, because I heard some people are crashing out about it, and I don't even want to fucking know.
I don't even care.
Peace out. Yeah. I will say, we were stone cold silent for MJF, but I did, of course, yell Happy Hanukkah, because I'm not a fucking monster. I wish happy holidays to everybody, and I respect the Jewish members of our audience and also the Jewish talent. So I thought that was really fun, but I wasn't going to cheer any other fucking MJF related thing, just saying.
Yeah. And in kayfabe, because of course he knew he wasn't going to be saying anything, but in kayfabe, I like to think MJF was sitting there being like, shut up, I'm supposed to be saying something nasty next. Don't be nice. Don't be nice to me.
Anyway, very fun. Other honorable mention to the crowd for chanting kiss, kiss, kiss at Hangman and Swerve, and I'm so glad that made it through on the television. That was so good.
That was fun.
That was really fun.
Is this real? They are chanting that.
Yes, I know.
I'm chanting it.
It was enchanting. It was an enchanting chant. So Samoa Joe was not there in person. He came up on the screen and delivered this like very nothing, like pork chop on the table kind of whatever. I don't even know.
I'm here too.
Yeah, I'm here too. Shout out Brian Murphy. But
Old Cobb.
Anyway. I'm here too. Okay, sorry. We're going down a NADPOD rabbit hole. But so the other thing I want to shout out here is on broadcast, I of course didn't realize this in person, and even on the broadcast it happened really fast. But the Ops Dojo was composed of a lot of local indie talent, including we definitely saw Matt Mako. I think we saw Alec Price, but
Maybe.
If it was Alec Price, he was absolutely swimming in that Ops Dojo t-shirt. So like it could have been somebody else. I don't know. And of course, Charles Mason, the undeniable Charles Mason. So that was really funny to be like, oh, there's Charles Mason getting absolutely decked by Hangman.
Yeah. That's great.
It went by in a real blur, but if you're into local talent, definitely like go in slow motion and watch the Ops Dojo running out, because it's very fun. Was there anything else you wanted to say about that segment before we move on?
Just to echo what you said about what Hangman said, I really appreciated Swerve explicitly calling out, the idea that MJF says stuff just to get the attention and feed his ego, and like
it was really good.
As much as any of
Swerve
that
was at least as on point as Hangman. I feel remiss that I didn't bring him up.
Yeah, and part of the catharsis of all of this is like, regardless of how shoot or work all of this may or may not be, it's lovely to have a little like encapsulation of like that correct response to this kind of energy given the world we're in.
Yeah, because and we talked about it on the way home. We were saying this could have felt like kind of a Captain America type clapback, like we're clapping back because we're the good guys and you're bad.
Yeah.
But instead it was like, we're clapping back because what you said was racist, sexist, and disgusting.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I really liked that. I'm really grateful that they went that way with this kind of fucked up situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And given the evolving nature of Swerve and Hangman's relationship, I really appreciated we've had them dancing around each other. We had them in a fight together, but also giving each other a look. I really appreciate it suddenly being a lot more explicit, like, yes, I'm going to hold him in place while you have your say. Yeah.
And Swerve, you didn't need to lick your lips like that, sir.
And AEW TV account, you didn't need to post the clip of just him licking his lips.
Everybody everybody in this knows what they're doing.
Everybody knows what they're
except
doing.
maybe Samoa Joe.
Except maybe Samoa Joe. He's like, hey, guys, I'm the one who actually has the belt. Does anybody care?
Hello?
No, not really. Sorry.
Yeah. So moving on, the next very exciting match we had was the final for the Dynamite Diamond Ring match with Ricochet versus Bandido, and everyone knows I was very excited for this. And I was really excited for Bandido coming out wearing his boyfriend Brody King's gear.
His best bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, just me saying, God, I love both these guys. Like, I can't really boo Ricochet except in a very silly way. Like, I don't mean it. I very much don't mean it. I love them.
He invites like cartoon heel level attention.
He does.
mean, you know, just the fact that he's one of the few that actually like lets the bald chant get to him or acts about, you know.
Well, right.
It's so silly, but he's just
so
like,
dumb.
you know, you can see him in his mind stomping his feet. And I mean, it's fine, you know.
Yeah, and that's why I get a little annoyed when people try to chant about other wrestlers being bald. I'm like, nobody else cares. Only Ricochet cares.
Yeah.
Half the roster and the refs are bald.
Yeah.
The only person to chant that with is Ricochet.
And the bit where he held down Bandido's hair and did the thing.
Oh my God.
I've seen that in other matches. I think we saw it in one of Billy Stark's matches with Mason at JCW, but like the thing where you hold down the hair and pull up on them.
Yeah.
But then afterwards being like, I can't do that to me.
Can't do that
I'm
to
bald.
me. Haha. There were Macarenas.
Don't put in the paper that I'm mad.
Macarenas all around.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Ricochet interrupted Bandido's, and then he did his own to great booing effect. Delight. Oh my God, they're so perfect. And then when when Bandido actually gets to do it, the New York crowd is at its best. We're going, hey, hey, hey.
It was so good.
The vibes were fucking immaculate, okay?
It's beautiful.
I don't think I've actually noticed Ricochet's Louis Vuitton pattern boots before. I assume they're not new and I'm just noticing it for the first time, but that was very fun. Just that match fucked so hard.
It did. And I really liked that we didn't really, really have an idea how it was going to go. And I think a lot of people were just assuming Ricochet was going to win. I kind of figured it might be Bandido just because it would seem really weird to give Ricochet both a belt and the ring and like just a lot of prizes at the end of the year. But
I don't know where they're going with this. We'll talk about that when we preview World's End, or not World's End, but we're going to talk about the future, right? Because Bandido now has won a title shot at Maximum Carnage on January 14th.
Right.
So, and he's won the ring. Mm-hmm. So now, we saw Max wore the ring in to do his promo.
Yeah.
And presumably at some point after the lights went out on MJF, they took it off him. Right? And put it in a box to present it to the winner of this match.
You might think so. I was reading somebody saying that they've given him multiple rings over the years.
Oh, really?
Like that he has at least 4 or something. But I mean, that may be because, again, we haven't watched all the old stuff, so I don't know. But it just seems
But we know that they're multiples and not just the same ring?
I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know. It just seems weird to me, period, to be like, here's your... Like, imagine if when they gave Mark Briscoe the TNT belt and they gave him like, you know, the conglomeration came together and gave him a custom one, then they were like, oh, and Fletcher, here's the belt. Like, you know, like everybody gets to keep a belt and every new person, you know, it just doesn't make sense. But
I guess, I don't know. Anyway, that there's like a few things that remain to be explained about the Dynamite Diamond Ring and kind of the implications of somebody who's not MJF winning it. But Brody King running out and helping Bandido after he's attacked. Yeah. And then presenting the ring to him as if he was proposing marriage, or not even that. He didn't get on one knee or anything, but he put it on his finger, like with this ring I thee wed kind of shit. And it's like, oh,
there's a lot of good emotions in there, regardless. And I was just so glad that Bandido did win.
I know. I'm so happy to see all good things happen to Bandido.
Great way for him to end his best wrestler of the year.
Absolutely. Give Bandido everything. And our penultimate match of the night on Dynamite was Mina Shirakawa versus Marina Shafir, or as I've been referring to it, Minarina Shafirakawa. I gotta say, I actually didn't pay too much attention during the broadcast to see how bad the commentary team fucked it up.
Yeah.
Hopefully they did a good job. I didn't quite catch if they made any egregious mistakes, but it is a bit of a tongue twister.
It is. And it's got to be difficult having, I mean, whatever. 2 Ina names,
Well, yeah.
But they're supposed to be professionals.
Correct. Really enjoyed this match. I don't have a ton of specifics.
Yeah, I just, the more I see of Marina, and I'm grateful that we've seen more of her over the past like 4 or 5 months in action, including in Ring of Honor, the more I just like her energy in the ring. She's got that like killer energy, and there was sort of a, like, I loved Mina coming out doing her dance. She got a huge pop from the crowd.
Oh yeah.
She gets in the ring. I'm just thinking, Mina, you don't stand a chance.
R.I.P.
And she's
Mina.
great.
Mina's
love
a
her.
great
She's a
wrestler
beautiful-
too.
yes,
like
yeah.
she can beat
Yeah,
Marina
absolutely.
Shafir.
She can
of
go.
course. She
Absolutely.
can go. But the energy
Yeah.
was mismatched. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's in a great way.
Yeah.
In an
I did enjoy, of course, the crowd chants, "We want Mina," because the crowd always chants, "We want Mina." But there was like a good group of us yelling, "She's right there." Not sure if that made it onto the broadcast. I kind of don't think it did, but it was very fun.
There's something very like child-brained, like we want tables after you've seen the tables come out. It's
yeah,
like,
the table is right there.
we know.
It's also like every time someone does like the punch counting to 10 thing in the corner, you know, we're like 1, 2, 3. After everybody's done counting to 10, I was like, "Good job, everybody!
Good job."
Like,
let's do our ABCs next.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little bit stupid.
They're just fun rituals.
It's just a ritual and it's fun. This was a very fun match, and of course, Marina is a killer and put Mina down. Toni Storm, who in the pre-match promo, she had to promise, Mina made her promise that she was not going to interfere or try to save her. But Toni, of course, does run in at the end to attempt to, I guess, save Mina from the post-match throttling she's getting, and gets one shot kicked in the face and knocked out by Marina. Very funny.
It was a good sell from Toni. It was very comical.
Very funny. Just absolutely flops on top of her wife. And the camera cuts away. I'm so mad about this because what we got to see in the ballroom, Toni and Mina log rolling themselves, or like more accurately, Toni log rolling herself and Mina together out of the ring.
Like just staying stuck together, rolling together.
It was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
I feel like the ref was there to sort of help them get out of the ring and just was like, okay, I guess I'm lifting the rope so you can both fit under it.
And so you have to picture it. I'm really hoping that somebody recorded it and will eventually spread it around on social media, but so far I haven't seen that. So you have to just imagine they are both being as dead weight as humanly possible while slowly rolling themselves out of the ring and effectively falling off the apron. It's so funny. It's like, and I said this on Blue Sky, but if you've ever seen that viral review of leggings, there's a woman who reviewed leggings on Amazon and posted photos of like evidence of how durable these leggings were. And the review is like, I was falling down a mountain and I was too afraid. I was like rolling down a mountain because I was too afraid to stand up because it was so steep and the leggings didn't rip. And the pictures are like the most funny, pathetic looking, like, and I think most people are laughing with this woman. I mean, I'm sure there were some comments that were nasty about her, but most people are like real talk. Like it was very funny. And this woman is just like rolling down a mountain, looking like absolute dead weight. And it really very much reminded me of that. It's really funny. And I hope that we will be able to see it. And I was really upset that it wasn't included at all in the broadcast.
Yeah.
And if I had known that, I would have recorded it on your phone.
I wish we had. I guess they normally don't film the people who are rolling out of the ring and being helped out of it. It is very funny to me also.
It was so funny. It was like A+ acting by Toni Storm.
Yeah. I think this is one, I haven't seen this that much. I haven't paid this much attention to it. But like the way that whoever loses the match will like slowly and quietly exit to not be seen.
Right.
But like this, a couple of matches at this one when whoever lost is making their exit and going down by the side of the ramp.
Yeah.
But like continuing to feign the like, oh, I'm really
injured,
beaten, I'm really wiped, I'm really
dizzy,
injured, I'm dizzy. Yeah, that like continuing like kayfabe all the way out.
Yeah, I love that.
But like it was very funny because Toni was doing that, and it's like you just got one kick. You're that like
no, she's dead.
She's dead. She cannot. She's got sparrows and stars going around her head.
So funny, really fun. So funny. So yeah, you're just gonna have to trust us on that one unless somebody does put it up on social media, which I really hope they do. And then our main event of Dynamite was Pac versus Jack Perry for the C2 match. So, one thing I've noticed about being in the crowd at Pac matches, obviously we're not in like Manchester where they're super hot for Pac. I've noticed that crowds in the northeastern United States have been relatively a little bit quiet. And I don't think it's because we don't love Pac.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're not sure how to cheer or boo him because like we all love him, but he's a heel, and I think something about his character in particular really fucks with us.
Yeah.
Because like he's not getting nuclear heat.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, it might have something to do with like the sign that someone had that was like Pac as a Christmas elf or something like that. He has that energy, maybe for Americans in particular.
I think it's because we don't hate him enough.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but if we're ever like kind of quiet during Pac matches, I don't think it's because we're not engaged.
No.
I think it's just because people are not sure how to yell.
We haven't figured out the right chance, the right angle. And I think part of that is also, I feel like his presence as a heel still has some, at least his presence as a heel as part of the Death Riders has some room to grow and change.
Yeah.
Like it's a little unclear. The Death Riders themselves are in kind of a hazy area right now.
They sure are.
So, but we'll talk about that more.
We talk about that a lot, so we'll get there. I was personally kind of doing both sides of the cheer for this match. I couldn't help myself. Jack Perry really shows out. I love when Pac was doing his stupid, like, run the ropes clothesline thing, and then Jack Perry did it back at him.
Yeah.
It ends with Jack chomping on Pac's little fingies and then getting a roll-up pin, causing absolute chaos in the Gold League with a 6-way tie.
Yep.
So we're walking out of the venue being like, oh my
shit! God.
What's gonna happen? So it was really hard not to talk about any of that online, you guys. So I'm really happy we managed not to spoil anything, but that was tough. That was a tough one.
It was tough. I did enjoy the end of that episode being Luchasaurus coming out again with gifts. And, but specifically milk and cookies.
Yes, they passed around to the crowd.
Yeah, the spilling of the milk, I was just like, oh, at least it's the end of the show.
Yeah, gross. That's going to smell. But yeah. And they didn't catch this part on camera, but Jack Perry, a couple things about Jack Perry. I don't remember whether this was Dynamite or Collision, but one of the times he came out, somebody had a Protect Trans Kids sign, and Jack made an absolute point of holding up the sign and posing with it.
Yeah.
And it got a good pop out of the crowd. And unfortunately, because of like Warner Brothers, whatever, they didn't put it on TV.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that he did it and we loved it.
He did it.
Nobody reacted in a bad way to that.
Yeah.
Or if they did, they kept it to themselves.
And there was one more thing from Dynamite. We had a little promo with the Elite.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Go ahead.
Basically with the Young Bucks telling us that they're not cleared for the rest of the year, which, as many have pointed out, is like, okay, a week.
Yeah. Enjoy your vacation, boys.
And then the more sort of like enticing thing was Kenny Omega very enigmatically saying he's going to go take care of something he should have taken care of a long time ago.
Which is very rom-com of him.
It's very rom-com. And my mind immediately, present at the crowd, my mind immediately went to Kota. What about Kota?
He's going to propose to Kota.
But I have no idea. It could be anything. But I was grateful to see online that I was not the only person who thought of that.
A lot of people are saying something with Andrade because I guess he was finally let out of his stupid non-compete officially. But I feel like that would be rushing things. I think he should just go propose to Kota.
Just go propose to Kota. Well, regardless, it's always nice to have a little bit of a sort of like a cliffhanger or a teaser of like, okay, some more stuff's going to happen. We'll find out.
So moving on to Christmas Collision, we had the final wrap-up of the C2 round-robin stage. As we said already, the Gold League was in a 6-way tie coming in. And so meaning like anyone who wins could go forward to the semifinals, but there are 3 Gold League matches scheduled. So I'm thinking, oh God, I was hoping one of them would be a draw rather than them having to do some shenanigans for like a 3-way battle. I think Tony Khan was on the record saying we could do a 3-way battle for a semifinal spot. And I'm like, oh, you can. You can, but the C2 is already very overwhelming to me. So, like, I'm glad they didn't go that way. Anyway, we'll get there.
That would be a lot.
We opened with Jack Perry versus Kyle Fletcher. I actually think this was where there was the Protect Trans Kids sign.
I think so.
But either way, beautiful, love. Vicious match. That fucking apron bomb that Kyle Fletcher flung Jack on the apron.
Yeah.
And then Jack, of course, biting Kyle on the tit.
I really loved the way Kyle sold that. Just like, he's got a great
such
little,
a bitey boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Kyle also being a gremlin by removing Jack's boot.
Yeah.
And positioning him to really try to fuck up his ankle.
And Aubrey really putting down the law, getting up in his face, saying like, "What the hell?" and then backing off so he can continue doing it.
What is your problem? What the hell, man? Come on! And then Kyle's just like, "As you can see, I am simply removing his boot."
Yeah. What's like, your problem?
What is your problem, ma'am? And then he puts his nasty sock in his mouth. At least Kyle has obtained socks.
So weird power play, sir. Like, okay.
Just gross little gremlins all around. Very delightful. Kyle gets the win. And you know, Jack was really playing up this ankle injury the whole time, so it kind of makes sense that they, you know, but they went hard. It was still a great match.
This is just file under Kyle has great faces, kind of like Mox with his selling, but I really liked the few times that Jack kicked out and Kyle would just make a face that's like, that's just rude. Like I'm supposed to win. Don't kick out. Come on.
Right. It wasn't his like shocked rubber cartoon.
He has such diversity
face. He does. He has really good reaction faces. Speaking of Kyles with very animated faces, we were blessed with our favorite Christmas elf, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
In a little quick promo, we started with Renee Paquette and Roddy Strong, and Renee's like, "How do you feel coming into this with 0 points?" You know, and then there's somebody who wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then Kyle comes into frame and hypes him up, and he's like, "It's Christmas, Roddy. Do it for me. Do it for your friends."
He said, "You're my ride or die."
Yeah. Love.
Just the sentiment of like, don't doubt yourself because you don't doubt me. You've pushed me, you know.
And you don't know how much I've doubted myself. You know, it was very sweet and really set the tone. You know, we were all thinking, oh God, don't let Roddy go without a win.
Yeah.
And so the Kyle O'Reilly promo was very sweet. And I was like, yeah, he's going to fucking kill him. He's going to kill him.
Yeah.
But before that, we got Takeshita versus Máscara Dorada. Again, amazing match.
Astounding.
Dorada in the C2 has been, I was so happy to see that he was in the bracket in the roster in the first place. He's so young. He just turned 24. He fucking showed out.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that they, you know, I know it's scripted. But I'm so glad that he got some wins because I think we were afraid that he was just going to be like the designated pin eater. And
right. I wasn't expecting Roddy of all people to be the designated pin eater. I think I will say the C2 has been such a joy. I really appreciate how the obvious expectations, like upon the release of the roster, were all subverted in some way. I really think they did a very good job booking it, keeping things surprising and fresh.
Yeah.
While kind of leading us towards some inevitable conclusions.
Yeah.
So really, again, Takeshita standing firm to like a running attack from a smaller man. Very funny. Takeshita goes undefeated.
Yep.
Love it. But he makes Dorada look amazing.
He did.
While he does it.
They both looked so good. And I can't wait to see Dorada more.
And his promo afterward. We haven't been yet talking about the promos afterward, but I will say Dorada's promo afterward really made it quite clear that he has a dual contract, I think.
I would probably read into that too, you know, expressly stating that he's learned things about AEW that he's going to put into effect is like, okay.
I'm like, yeah. Come on, do it. Love it. Love to see it. You love to see it. Then we get our much anticipated Roddy Strong versus Claudio Castagnoli match. Claudio is spawning at the top of the steps, comes out the same entrance door that he had the previous night.
Yeah, they're making a lot of use of that one door for the Death Riders.
Well,
but
look,
it's
you put your red LED light bar somewhere. You don't want to move it.
Yeah.
I will say that the previous night when we had a better view of that doorway, I was kind of peeking through it when it became clear that Claudio was going to come through. You could see the red light. Or I'm sorry, not Claudio. I think it was Pac who was making his entrance. Sorry, my bad. But before Pac made his entrance, you could see Claudio, or I could from my vantage point, see Claudio standing in the doorway, like ready to support. It was very fun. I have a couple of bad photos of that, but very enjoyable. So they came out the same door. And then on the broadcast, you could see he's spawning at the top of the steps at his NPC spawn point. Danny and Yuta meet him on the landing, and they're like, yeah, go. Yep. And then we're not expecting Roddy to be so fired up that he shuts him down really fast. Quick, brutal win. Everyone's fucking hype. Everyone's chanting for Roddy in the crowd. We're so excited.
I don't think Claudio was. I think Claudio was knocked off kilter right at the start, basically, at least emotionally, because then he was doing this thing where he was like he was just frustrated and trying to get Roddy to stay out of the ring. Like, go over there and, I'll wait the count out. Like, I don't know. He was like doing something weird there. And then
very un-Claudio.
Like that ever works, the count out.
Right. And then as soon as the match ended, the Death Riders were like, oh, we can interfere now.
Yeah.
So Yuta and Danny and Marina all run out. Marina bullies Bryce out of the way while Yuta and Danny go to kick Roddy's ass. Thanks, Marina. Very wifely behavior there. And then Mark Briscoe runs in with a bat or a pole
like
or
a 2x4.
whatever the hell he had. And he confronts Marina directly, which we're like, And then we have timeless Toni Storm, of all people, trotting out.
It was perfect.
With a handful of like large fake pearls, which she immediately drops everywhere.
For a good effect, yeah.
And the boys hold Marina back, which I feel like is a really bad idea. Like,
they're gonna get it later.
Holding Marina back in real life. Oh God, what? And then Toni,
tempting fate.
Toni thrusts out her hand for a handshake to Mark Briscoe, and then he kisses her hand. It was very sweet.
He does give her a firm. He returns the firm handshake, and then he's
decides,
like, "I should do this."
This is a lady.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah, very cute. And then they cut away to show the C2 brackets, and they didn't get a great shot of this, but you could kind of see it, that afterward Toni goes over to Roddy and also extends her hand, which he takes to shake. And I was like, I'm just screaming in the audience,
And this is such great, I mean, it's all, of course, there's a little simple story they're telling with Roddy during the C2, but, Kyle in his promo did call out, you have friends. There was kind of an implication like you should accept your friends because you will win more.
Accept that you are conglomerating.
Yeah, accept it. And it was interesting to see all these people come out, and then Roddy's like, okay, kind of.
Yeah.
He's still Bert, but he's And I had the thought
he's still Bert, but he's letting Ernie encourage him.
Yeah. He's accepting, hey, I fought, I won. These people are coming to help me. All right. And it was in this moment with Toni out there as well. I think she was a necessary ingredient for this, but it was the first time I sort of thought to myself, the conglomeration and Toni are very Looney Tunes coded.
Oh my God.
Very like WB, Warner Brothers, like, 100%, okay.
100% yes. wacky and kooky.
Wacky crew, yeah.
And then they announced a little later, I'll just jump to it, but they announced a little later that night that there would be a quote-unquote mixed nuts mayhem match.
Which is so exciting.
It's Marina, Yuta, Danny, and Claudio.
I think so.
Marina, Pac, Yuta, and Claudio. Yeah. It's even crazier.
Yeah.
Like, Pac, Yuta, and Claudio?
Yeah.
What? And then Toni Storm, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roddy Strong in a mixed
nuts
tag.
Mayhem. I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited. And they did not announce this at the show.
Yeah, so this was a nice post-Christmas treat for those of us even who were at the show. Like, oh, okay,
we did not know that this was coming.
Yeah.
And then my notes here, I think this is where they did the FTR Bang Bang Gang promo, which, they kind of moved stuff around.
Yeah, so. And we can talk about that at the...
Yeah. We'll do a little World's End preview at the end. And so our next match was Pac versus Kevin Knight. Time for a Jet 2 holiday, baby. Fucking love them both so much.
Yeah.
Kevin Knight, having seen, this is like his star breakout.
Yeah, I think I think everyone has loved him as part of Jet Speed, of course, but something about the C2, and especially for me, just like, it's been a joy seeing him like step up as a singles wrestler. Yeah. It's just the moment in the match where he like stands up and thrusts his chest out to Pac is just like, he's here to stay, and he's going to be a star.
And not for nothing, Speedball too has had an incredible C2. But I feel like Speedball is a little more of a known quantity, perhaps, as a singles wrestler. Like, I feel like a lot of us were, I mean, not me specifically, but I feel like a lot of people were maybe a little bit more familiar with how they are as a singles wrestler and like their capabilities. But Kevin Knight in particular, like, oh my God.
Yeah. So amazing. Not just in his offense, but like the way he takes bumps too. Like that thing where he lands on like the turnbuckle and you're thinking he smacked his head on.
Yes.
Maybe he smacked his head on the ring post or something.
We had to watch that again a few times, and it actually kind of, it comes out kind of looking like a really fucked up Fosbury flop or something. It's like, when you watch it again, it does look somewhat controlled.
Yeah.
But it looks fucking crazy if you're not watching it again.
Live in person, I just thought that was like,
oh my God.
And then some of the camera angles, it's like, okay, that was fine. But
yeah. I do love that Pac keeps doing the spawn point thing. Yeah. It's similar to Claudio, just in the sense of like he spawns in a certain way, but it doesn't have that static vibe. It doesn't feel like a video game the way Claudio does.
Looks like he's waking up from cryo sleep.
Right.
Pac looks like he spawned in a moment of he's centering himself.
Yeah.
He's doing a little prayer. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Incredible match. I'm really glad this was the one that went to a draw because A, that means we got them for a full 20 minutes.
Yes.
And B, then we avoid the three-way tie stuff.
Bad news for Pac and Kevin, but good news for the math going into World's End.
And good news for all of us.
Yeah.
And even though it did not make it onto the broadcast, I do need to note that there was a quiet moment near the end of this match where I, fully sober, by the way, decided to get my New York City fighting words out, and I just yelled, "Hey, Pac, you good?" Which, like, good thing I have an indoor voice because he could probably figure out where I live and come for
me.
Probably.
I think in that moment it wasn't clear if he was good. So
he was sort of like skulking around at that moment, and it was like a moment of quietude. So I was like, let me be obnoxious.
I love it.
It was really fun.
Appreciated at the end of this match the both these guys chant when both of them are kind of making the face that's like,
what?
What?
You're not allowed to like both of us. Like one of us is clearly a face and one of us is clearly a heel. You don't but you can't not love both of them.
Yeah.
I love both of them.
Yeah.
And then before we continue on to finish off the C2, we got the Babes of Wrath versus Hyan and Maya World. You know, I was thinking, one time I got a bartending job because I kept showing up to wait tables and the bartender missed several shifts in a row. Not sure why this makes me think of Hyan and Maya World, but in any case, I've been very happy to see them. I love that they got their own, like, graphic intro. They got their music now.
Yeah.
And they come out in matching gear with adorable Christmas cardigans. I fucking love
janglies. Yeah, it was great.
I fucking love it. I'm so happy for them. And, like, just, I hesitate to say, like, I'm proud of them because it feels diminutive. It feels like kind of like, you know, but I am, but I'm proud to see, like, just people who are being really professional and doing the work and getting rewarded for it. It makes me happy.
And I'm excited. I'm glad that it shows that there's an interest to bring new blood into the women's division, which I mean, that's kind of been obvious, but it's good to see that paying off and actually having new blood in the women's division.
Yes.
Especially with the tag team division. So
and they all looked great. They got to show off a little bit. Of course, the Babes of Wrath are going to win. But and I did turn to Adam at one point. I said, you know, I would love to see us get to the point where we've got like big women going against each other and you have a crowd of mostly women doing like meat chants.
Yeah.
I normally don't really like meat chants, but I think it would be really fun to kind of turn that table.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
I mean, I specifically appreciate that Maya World can kind of like physically presence-wise go toe-to-toe with Willow, who's got amazing presence. So
they're both meaty gals in the most positive way
over time.
And so that was like kind of our only real detour from the C2. They had to cram in 6 C2 matches into this event, and it wound up going 2.5 hours for the broadcast. So
I will say one thing I liked, and it was like the finishing move, was the assisted soul food. Maybe they've done that once before, but I like seeing it.
And as with every time I see a soul food, I have to go soul food, and I did it live as well. I have no filter.
And then to round out the show, our penultimate match, we're down to the last.
Now everybody's saying penultimate.
It's the hot new thing. I mean, we've got 2 C2 matches left, and the first of the 2 remaining, we got Jon Moxley.
Well, wait. So now that Pac and Kevin Knight tied, these are going to be the 2 matches that determine who goes to the semifinals.
Big deciders.
I wouldn't have necessarily guessed that. Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, I think I might have expected the OC and Mox match to be the one that goes to a draw.
Right.
But here we are. High stakes. The stakes are very, very high. Go ahead. Sorry.
So we got Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they've fought many times.
Yes. I could watch them fight any time, forever.
Yeah. And we got a killer DDT, was it?
Yes. There were several killer DDTs delivered.
We
during
got
this
a
match.
killer DDT on the table.
Yes, well, that was like the craziest.
That was
move.
the craziest thing.
So I was particularly looking forward to seeing this match on the broadcast because we were on the second balcony for Collision.
Yeah.
And due to the angle of viewing, even though we were very close to the front, most people in our section could not see a lot of the match.
That's right.
Like this match in particular was the one I think I missed the most of because the part where anytime they spent a lot of time on that side of the ring and then especially over by the timekeeper's table, we couldn't see any of that.
Yeah. In fact, I guess it's probably the match where that had the most sort of tired, frustrated crowds
being
chanting,
like, we can't see.
We can't see.
Yeah.
It's like, yes,
and that's the thing. That's the unfortunate thing about the Hammerstein. And I knew going in, I hadn't been to the Hammerstein in many years, and I'd only ever been for music.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew going in from that past experience that the Hammerstein is kind of a fucky venue. It's a beautiful place,
mm-hmm.
And I actually like it a lot more for wrestling than I like it for music. But it's the kind of place where if you don't have a really good seat, you might have a very obstructed view.
Yeah, it's very tightly stacked, and this is just an odd thought I had in the middle of watching the televised recordings. Mm-hmm. Was there are times, and partly it's because of the bright colors with gray blue overtones. Mm-hmm. There are times where I sort of thought, are we watching wrestling like inside a prison? Like there's something about the stacked layers of beautiful.
That's funny.
It's
it's too beautiful for me to have thought of it that way. But it is a strange little venue. And this is really the only match where that was a problem for us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was one of my most highly anticipated matches, and then we couldn't see a lot of it. But there was we were in the second row, and we had a very helpful buddy in our section in the front row who would be looking over the railing and kind of saying, "Oh, he hit him," and then people in our section would be like, "Thanks." It was very funny. New Yorkers helping each other, It
lasted about 2 honest statements before it went fully off the rails. But
yeah, truly. So yeah, going through the timekeeper's table, I was really looking forward to seeing that on the broadcast, and I was not disappointed. My other thing that I never really noticed before this weekend, although I'm sure he's done it many, many, many times, it cracks me up how when Mox goes to do a gotch style pile driver, he does this extremely performative thing where he goes to make the grasp with his arms. He's like floating his one arm in to meet the other. It is very funny.
It's very menacing. It's very look what I'm about to do.
Yeah. It's very effective. It's actually very Charles Mason-esque. I think that type of movement, it feels very sort of cat-like and evil. And I really like it.
Get ready to see what I'm about to do.
Yeah. Very... Look at me. Ha ha ha. I'm about to kill this person.
Your hero.
So the thing about this match, the ending was actually botched live. Mm-hmm. And AEW, for the broadcast, did a quick, clever little edit to make it look like a cleaner loss for Orange Cassidy, which was interesting.
Just probably what it was supposed to be. So
of course it was. Yeah. I mean, of course Mox was supposed to win, but I think it's actually probably a good thing that they edited the broadcast. Yeah. But the audience reacted we were kind of pissed a little bit because so near the end, right before the final pinfall, OC had Mox in a pin, which you do see in the broadcast, but what you don't see is that Bryce restarted the count.
Yeah.
He's skipping the first count from that pin. Bryce restarted the count, but I don't think Mox actually got his shoulder up. It should have technically been a count to 3, and but rather than, we're just telling everybody's secrets, right? Because I think it's to their credit that they edited it out so that all the talk of the town wouldn't be oh, they fucked it up and OC should have had it.
Yeah. One benefit of pre-taping those shows.
Yeah,
as well, I guess.
Yeah, and they did a good job with the edit. You never would have known if you weren't there.
Yeah.
But a few of us who were there were like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Because it was
well, and it's disappointing. It's one of those things where, because it's a weird thing, because it's scripted, so then when you see it, you're like, oh, I'm seeing how it's supposed to end, and then you sort of get that snatched back, and you're like, wait, but that's what I wanted now that it happened.
Well, and that's the thing, when there's a 3 count, and we talk about this, maybe we don't, but this happens all the time in AEW, other promotions. There's been a few really gnarly ones on the Fed lately. We'll not go into it, but the ref kind of has to call it like they see it, even if that wasn't the plan. Yeah. And so to kind of, Bryce really was like, well, I'm not doing that, and it looked a little fucky. But I'm not mad that Orange Cassidy didn't win.
Yeah.
I understand why Mox is going forward.
Yeah.
But it was awkward, and I think it is good that they edited it.
Yeah.
What else? Mox, he has a wonderful promo.
He does. Do you want to talk about that when we get to World's End predictions?
Sure.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I have things I want to say.
Yeah, Mox is one of our favorite topics of conversation at any time. So let's get to our final match.
Yeah, we had Okada versus Bailey.
Yes.
Much hotly anticipated.
Indeed. And absolutely legendary. Speedball came out in, I guess it's like a Chrono Trigger inspired.
Oh, is
It's
it?
that frog, the
Okay.
little frog outfit. We've seen them in it before, but I think it's specifically like a Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not that familiar with that.
I'm not either, but I think it's very fun.
In person, I just remember thinking, is that a frog?
Yeah.
Or is it just cool green gear?
It is a little froggy. It's very cute. And these two gave us everything. You know, like just
Absolutely. Yeah. It was an
total
astounding.
banger.
Yeah. I mean, they really, again, one of the joyful things, they really had you biting several times.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
Speedball's gonna pull it off.
There's no way I thought Speedball was winning this match, but they did a good job of at least making it look plausible.
Yeah,
they
which
might.
again also is
Yeah.
part of the, like, similar to Kevin Knight, although as you said, I think we all kind of have hopefully this sense more about Bailey already, but like
Yeah.
as a sort of more of a known quantity as a singles.
Speedball has shown
But
out.
yeah, but it's totally like, okay, we all can see Speedball can go.
Yeah.
Selling that, like, yeah.
And at one point, Speedball goes to do the Flamingo Driver again on Okada and is countered out of it. Like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
big storytelling. The only person that Speedball's done the Flamingo Driver on successfully in AEW is Kevin Knight.
His own partner.
Yep.
Who didn't see it coming.
Yep.
Because he hasn't used it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and the joyfulness of Speedball giving the finger to
Oh, going,
Okada.
fuck you, and putting his middle finger in the face.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
And then, yeah, of course, like Okada eventually does get the final pin and makes it into the semifinals.
And makes a super hammy smile
Incredible
at the camera.
demon face.
Yeah. Diva.
Love it. I love the people who really know how to work the camera with their faces. Like, they know
Yeah.
exactly where the camera is all the time. Jack Perry is
Perry,
wonderful
yeah.
at this as well.
Yeah.
Know exactly where to look to make a ham face
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
Value that very, very much. So yeah, that was precious. And yeah, that ties everything up. So that gave us the semifinal matchup of Takeshita versus Okada, which is blowing a lot of minds.
Yeah.
And the other semifinal match is Kyle Fletcher against Jon Moxley.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So before we move on to a bit of a World's End preview, let's talk a little bit about not getting into matches or spoilers because we're recording before it airs, but we saw a lot of Ring of Honor matches taped.
Yeah.
The Boxing Day Brawl is going to be airing in just a few hours from when we're recording. And if you haven't seen it already, it's going to be very enjoyable for you. They've announced a bunch of stuff so far. I think there's going to be some treats that air tonight that have not yet been announced.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really particularly enjoyed about all of the matches they taped this weekend is how much local talent they used, like a lot of indie folks that we know. They really did a great job paying local talent to come and be on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, which I know that they do, but it's especially nice when it's local talent from near you that you're like, oh, that person.
They do, but they got a lot of people this weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more than they usually do.
It's probably a little easier and / more important when you have like a 2-day residency somewhere and you're like, come on, come out.
Everybody come on down. Yeah. And this has been announced already, but they're one of the tag team matchups was Jordan Oliver and Alec Price, aka Busta and the Brain. And Jordan Oliver's been on Ring of Honor many times, but they have not been on as a tag team before. So this is very exciting.
It's very exciting.
Super happy to see those guys. They got a big crowd pop and lots of love. I'm not going to say the other people who haven't been announced yet, but I will just say it was lots of fun.
Yeah, and just to say, they of what's been announced, for the Boxing Day Brawl, they filmed like a little over twice that much stuff. So
yeah, they filmed a ton.
There's more fun
stuff.
surprises to come on Ring of Honor.
A ton of stuff. But so the main thing for the Boxing Day Brawl, the biggest match that has been announced is the Pure Championship match between Lee Moriarty and Commander, which of course is as awesome as you hope it would be.
Does not disappoint.
Yeah, but like I said, there are some special holiday treats that have not been announced for some reason that I'm pretty sure are going to air tonight. So we'll talk about that
some
all
popular
next time.
factions that you will be happy to see.
Just some popular factions that will go unnamed that I think people will be pretty psyched to see. So yes, enjoy. It's going to be a lovely treat.
Can we talk briefly about Lio Rush?
Let's talk about Lio Rush.
As you've said sometimes,
he moves funny.
He moves funny.
I like him.
He has such a creative way of moving. I don't know how, just unique. He puts his own spin on things, and it's a delight to see.
Yeah, really enjoyed Lio Rush. Have they actually announced the Lio Rush match?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, he's going to be. I was going to say, are we spoiling something? Yes, great fun.
Yeah.
He's going to be up against Katsuyori Shibata tonight. So
yeah, great fun.
You love to see it. Shall we move on? Do a little World's End preview?
Let's do it.
Okay, first of all, so World's End, it's a sentence, right?
It is. It's a statement.
World's End. Everybody dies. It's not like the end of the world. It's no apostrophe. It's World's End.
Universes collide.
Yeah.
Suns implode.
Exactly.
World's End.
Exactly. So I think that's pretty neat. And I think everybody should disable
everybody get on board.
Disable your apostrophes when you're talking about it. So the only thing we know, there is going to be a 0 hour. We don't have a tailgate brawl, I assume, because we got a full collision in the lead up. So we don't have a tailgate brawl. I assume the 0 hour is going to be kind of a balance of talking and matches, but with fewer matches than what we've been accustomed to with the tailgate brawl.
I would assume it would be kind of like it used to be before the tailgate brawl, but
right. And so we know is that Sisters of Sin are going to have a match versus Hyan and Maya World. Yeah. Again, so fucking happy for them, dude.
So happy for them. And, last time we saw Sisters of Sin in tag team action, I greatly enjoyed it. So I'm happy to, keep doing the tag team stuff.
Keep doing
I'm just going to broken record. More
keep,
women's matches, more women's tag teams.
Keep this tag team division running hot. Do not let it cool off.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
So I don't know if what other matches there might be. I assume they will announce something else for 0 hour, but as of now, that's all we know.
And I think we initially thought this other match, the Mixed Nuts Mayhem,
it
felt like a 0 hour kind of match.
It did. And in fact, it was my mistake. I thought when I saw the card, I thought it said 0 hour for that match. So I was talking about it like it was going to be on 0 hour.
Well, and that was
not.
My assumption at first. Because again, it just felt to me like, oh yeah, that's something for the 0 hour.
But Orange Cassidy has been in a bunch of wacky 0 hour matches over the course of AEW. So it wouldn't be weird.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy to think that Toni Storm would be in a 0 hour match, but it's also fun, let's be a little wacky.
Yeah, so wacky. Speaking of people who aren't that wacky, Claudio, Pac, Yuta, and Shafir.
Yeah, not wacky.
I'm just gonna go out and say I pick them to win. They're my pick for this one.
Okay. I haven't thought this through too much. I think it could go either way, but I do think that with the continued storytelling that's going on with the Death Riders and the conglomeration, I think it probably makes more sense for the Death Riders to win this, but I could see it going either way, and either way it's going to be really fun.
I could see it going either way. I think the important note to hit for me out of this is, regardless if Roderick Strong feels like he's conglomerating,
yes,
I think it would, if the Death Riders win, I feel then that can help fuel continuing stuff between the Death Riders and the conglomeration, who feel like sort of natural enemies.
I'd like to see Tony get a win. I feel like
that's a good point.
Marina has been a little rough lately.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But on the other hand, Orange Cassidy is, I think, maybe entering a bit of a dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because the post C2 promo was just Orange Cassidy tying his boots and walking away.
Right. Silence.
He's not a man of many words.
He's not.
But they're brewing something with the storytelling here.
Yeah. I think you've been saying they're telling a story to some degree about his old winning things not quite working anymore.
Right. He can't just orange punch his way to championships anymore.
Right.
So I don't know what any of it means yet. I don't think it necessarily means like, oh, Orange is going to have a heel turn or whatever. But I do think that the story right now is telling us that Orange has to figure something out.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this is part of that story or not. But either way, all I want out of this is for it to actually be mayhem and for it to actually be mixed. If it's mayhem, I want to see boys and girls hitting each other.
Agree.
I want to see Marina and Roddy try to kill each other.
Yeah.
Please. So fun.
Please. Yeah, I am the benefit of it being in the pay-per-view and not on TV is if there's any hesitancy from TV execs about that kind of nonsense, this is the time to go ham.
That's right. So, we should be free of like network executive pearl clutching.
I would hope so.
I would think.
Yeah.
So if you're calling it mayhem, I expect mayhem. Tony Khan, do it.
Book it. And while we're talking about promos, Pac gave a nice little closing promo.
Oh, so funny.
Where he seemed angry and frustrated that he didn't earn a spot.
He said, fuck Christmas.
He said, fuck Christmas.
Jesus.
Do I look like a loser?
No, maybe you don't, actually.
Kinda. I think it's the hair, but okay.
Stop. We like his hair.
But fuck Christmas. Oh, what a bastard.
Wow, brutal.
What a bastard.
He's really mad.
But yeah, so happy to see him here, and I look forward to where he's going to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure if, again, like, I'm not sure if Orange or Pac's, like, larger narrative will be coming up in this particular match, but I would love if there's, like, a little bit of in-ring storytelling for that. Yeah. But we'll see. All I want is mayhem.
Mayhem, please.
And speaking of mayhem, I think that's probably what we can expect from Gabe Kidd versus Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not emotionally invested in this match whatsoever. I just assume Darby's going to win because it feels odd to have Gabe Kidd swoop in and win on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But maybe. I don't know.
Depends what they want to do with Gabe Kidd. Again, I don't have a strong sense of him as a participant in AEW. I know that he's had a whole like character and storyline going in New Japan, right?
Right, yeah.
I'm not as privy to that as I could be. So, but
I guess I'm curious to see if he has like Death Rider backup for this match, or if it's more of a like one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Again, that's kind of like a pork chop match. I'm just like, okay, it's there.
Yeah, I'm mainly just worried for Darby, given the kind of year he's had so far. But
as long as Darby doesn't wind up in the ICU, although I'm sure he's theoretically, at least in kayfabe, been there enough that he would go and hook up his own EKG leads.
Yeah.
Moving on. Next I have the tag title matches. So we have the women on the women's side. We have the Babes of Wrath versus Athena and Mercedes Moné. I've already said my piece on this. I think no question the Babes of Wrath retain.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because you got to be a tag team to win the tag team.
I think it would be very weird for these two at odds with their power trip women to, despite having shown that they can occasionally cooperate, to pull out the win and win the titles and then just have even more belts.
And then what? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. This is Harley and Willow are over. They retain. I just don't see another way.
Yeah, it would be really weird to put the belts on your first inaugural champions and immediately take them off to these two. But
yeah, and so on the men's side, we have FTR versus the Bang Bang Gang in a Chicago street fight. And I feel like this match, when I think about it, there's two things going on. You've got meta-narratives and smart mark logic versus what feels organic and fun. There's no reason not to say, in my opinion, there's no reason not to say that the Bang Bang Gang win.
I agree.
Other than the narrative that FTR is going to retain and then Cope and Cage are going to come out and it's going to be like that part of the story. From a which like that could very well happen, don't get me wrong. I will find that quite boring. But if you didn't like, there's no actual reason in the storyline why the Bang Bang Gang don't take it.
In fact, they have literally shown us twice now
that they won.
The Bang Bang Gang, that they won, but were stymied by FTR's shenanigans.
Cheating.
And they showed us the second time that they had learned from the previous shenanigans because Stoke got out the powder and he was going to use it. And Juice was like,
Yeah.
So they're showing us that this team is learning how to get over the other
Correct.
team.
So in my opinion, unless you're doing this meta thing with Cage and Cope, there is zero reason to say FTR retains.
Yeah.
You know, other than, they're a good tag team, sure.
It isn't just like, oh, these are my special guys and I hope they win. It's like, no, they've told a story that it would be very weird for them to just lose again. Be like, okay, well, that sucks.
And we can still totally have the FTR Cage and Cope story.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that needs to happen right now.
That's a story of vengeance. It's got nothing to do with belts.
Well, whatever. Whether it involves the belts or not.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But I do think that it's just as likely. And in fact, I think the story points more toward the Bang Bang Gang getting it.
Yeah.
Also, Juice is from the Chicago suburbs.
There you go.
Yeah, local boy.
I am excited for this to be a Chicago street fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
like that.
I wonder how that's going to manifest itself.
Yeah.
I also wonder, and I hope, maybe, I'm actually not sure his status, but a surprise appearance from Jay White would be really fun here.
It would be.
It could be that he's nowhere near ready, and I have no idea, but that would be great fun.
He doesn't even have to do that much.
No, he could just show up.
As part of the storytelling of the Bang Bang Gang, learning to deal with Bang Bang learning to deal with FTR shenanigans.
Yeah.
The extra wild card there is always Stoke. So if you're like, actually, we've got a friend who can come in and hold him back or get him out of the ring.
Right. He doesn't have to wrestle.
He doesn't have to wrestle or take a big bump.
Yeah.
Anyway, we shall see.
Yeah. Bang Bang Gang are my pick here. Hot take.
Same. Hot take.
We can agree on that. All right, cool. Okay, so let's move on. Before we get to the C2, let's just talk about the men's and women's world titles for a sec. Let's start with the men.
Okay. If we must.
If we must. So I think the thing about this four-way is that I actually kind of think it could go any direction, which,
Agree.
Four-ways are chaotic. It's really funny how not even 5 weeks after Full Gear, I'm here saying I think Joe should retain.
The power of MJF, honestly.
What? Well, it's not even so much. I do not want MJF to have the title right now. I don't think that makes sense with the story to put the title on MJF right now. I think that would frankly be a slap in the face with the current, with the promos and stuff. I think if Tony Khan is like, well, actually, fuck you guys for caring, I think that's a really off story beat. So I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to go down that path because I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But even that aside, whether I like it or not aside, I think all of it just needs to cook more.
I think so too. I mean, there's the meta question that none of us, I think, know the answer to of when does Joe have to go back to filming his thing?
We don't know.
I don't have the information.
Of us know.
So never mind about that.
Yeah.
I just think the best story here is, let me put it another way. I think if Samoa Joe loses, particularly to MJF, that's just severely undercuts what they did with Joe's storyline.
Correct.
If you're at all a fan,
it just feels offensive to everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that in a wrestling level, not on a political whatever level.
It's just an offensive story or whatever.
It's a bad
if
story.
You're actually, I kind of think what they're
booking.
doing with Joe and the Ops is cool. Okay, well then MJF's just going to show up out of nowhere and take it off him on, and Joe's leaving.
That would be bad
booking. Really bad. And then just MJF winning also, some people are so convinced that's just obviously what's going to happen. And I'm like, that just seems like a bad story for him too.
Right. It's not, if you want what's best for MJF, I don't see how cashing in your contract and then winning immediately without having any interesting character stuff.
Yeah. There's no story beat here at all.
It doesn't
he
help
lost
him
to Hangman
either.
Twice and then he just comes back and cashes in and wins. It
doesn't help him either.
Yeah.
So whatever. But so I think Joe should retain, and I kind of think he will. The likely alternative I can envision, one of our Blue Sky pals, I think it was Chob. If not, forgive me. But one of our pals said maybe Hanger will tap to Swerve in order to avoid, if it looks like MJF is about to get the win, or even if Joe, because he's obviously clearly very upset that Joe has the title. If it looks like one of those guys might be about to win, you could see maybe Hangman's going to submit to Swerve.
Could see it. Yeah.
That still feels too soon to me. I would like to see it cook more before they do something like that. But as a move of desperation, it could be fun for the story.
Yeah.
It could be very interesting.
I think Swerve winning is a very real possibility.
Definitely. And then what happens after that? People are saying, is Swerve going to do a little heel turn? I kind of like the idea of, and again, I think it would feel too soon, but maybe down the road, I like the idea of Swerve and Hanger cooperating for this. And then once Swerve gets the belt, he could look at Hanger and be like, did you think we were friends?
Yeah.
And just go full evil bastard Swerve, and that would be really fun.
That would be terrible.
It would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
But I think if that sort of thing does happen, I would really enjoy it in a painful way, but I don't want it to happen right now.
Yeah,
It's too soon.
I think it would be too fast, and I particularly think it would be too fast right after on the heels of the promo that we got.
Exactly.
Like,
just let it simmer.
For Swerve to give such righteous words and then be like, haha, I'm betraying
just
you,
kidding.
Would be a little bit much, but
yeah, let's let
down
it
the line,
simmer.
I'm ready.
Let's let it simmer. Yeah. And let's keep in mind, without getting too meta, Bandido is now set to challenge on January 14th.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of breaks my heart because I don't think he has a chance of winning.
I don't. And I've seen people put that forth as evidence for the meta evidence for why, well, MJF is going to win because then we'll get,
it
Bandido.
Doesn't matter.
I think Bandido v. Joe would be just as satisfying.
I think Bandido v. Hangman would be just as, you know what I'm
saying?
Not that
any of these would
I
be
don't
satisfying.
think Hangman's taking the belt back, but I'm just saying, like, Bandido with any of these guys would be a great match. And the nice thing about the like Dynamite Diamond Ring plus the 4-way title thing, it doesn't, then those things both feel chaotic.
Yeah.
It doesn't naturally mean that you have to be setting up a heel v face thing. Yeah. I mean, hello, we've all been watching the C2. We know you don't have to be heel v face.
Yeah.
Or, you can have a great match that's face v face or heel v heel.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't really matter who Bandido winds up going against. It bums me out that I don't think he can win it, because I just don't think they're going to have the Ring of Honor World Champion and the AEW Men's World Champion be the same person.
Unless they decide. I think, if they do decide, it's a long way to All In. And people have a lot of silly ideas about what's going to happen. It's too far away for anyone to
I don't really want to
really know for sure.
We've talked about this a little bit amongst ourselves, and I don't want to get too into it, but I think the way people are like fantasy booking the men's championship all the way to All In,
it's really
just
weird.
A reminder to everybody, All In this year was in July. July is still a long way away. All In next year is at the end of August.
Yeah.
That is a fucking entire human gestation period away. Like, everybody needs to chill.
Chill.
The title needs to move a couple times between now and then. You cannot just say whoever wins it at World's End holds it until Ospreay comes back. Like, that is that's
really weird.
It doesn't even matter
thinking.
who wins it tomorrow. That is like the worst possible outcome, that whoever it is holds on to it till Ospreay comes back.
Right.
So, fuck that.
But my thought about Bandido...
Sorry, I interrupted your ass.
It's okay. It's true. We needed to say it. But my thought about Bandido is just like, why not let him win and hold it a little bit? And then if you're in a situation...
Sure.
If you're in a situation where, like, we're kind of tight on heels or faces or whatever, and we're not, like, it's hard to do a long run, okay, well, bounce it around some people for a little bit.
I support that. And I would love to see Bandido win it.
Yeah.
Whoever wins tomorrow, I would love to see Bandido win it.
Yeah.
I do think Joe hanging on makes the most sense. It lets the story flavors kind of meld. Mm-hmm. Swerve and Hanger need to keep figuring their shit out in this very erotically charged way.
And they are. We're seeing it
progress.
But
let it happen more.
Yeah, it has more room.
MJF needs a little bit of a dark night of the soul, and frankly, we need to see some of that instead of just being told.
Yep.
And so that requires more time.
Yeah.
And he needs to get it together and figure out what he's going to do.
Even if he's going to redirect himself into being like a different kind of heel, like the asshole that learns the wrong lesson and, goes even further into some different direction.
Yeah.
There needs to be some change there. And
we need to see it.
Yeah.
We need time to let that happen. So that's why I think Joe retains.
Agree. I think I picked Swerve.
Oh yeah,
I picked Swerve to be spicy, but I kind of think...
You know what? I support spicy picks, but I'm
Joe
sticking
is the
with
most
Joe.
Satisfying, correct option here, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the women's side, I can kind of see Stat v. Hayter going either way. It feels a little too soon for me for Stat to drop the belt. Again, talking about letting her cook, I would really like it if they let her continue.
Yeah, she's only had a couple of defenses. I'm probably forgetting something, but the only ones I'm remembering right now are Tony and Mercedes.
Yeah, so she successfully defended against Tony and Mercedes. So then to drop it to Hayter seems like, as your very next defense, seems a little crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And Hayter's great. Like, I don't have a problem with her taking the belt back. Mm-hmm. But I would, again, like to kind of see them let this simmer a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And, Kris still needs some promo work. I wish she would lean into being weird. She's like, it's like she's visually leaning into the alien thing, but she's not really doing it in her actions.
Yeah,
she's kind of being a little too, like, serious. I don't know. I kind of wish she was like booping people. You know, I think just a little wacky would
like
be...
Alanis Morissette in Dogma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of wacky would go a long way.
Yeah. I mean, and I wonder, I feel like she has the possibility to be conglomeration adjacent, but without that wackiness, it's not quite there. Not that she needs to be, but I'm just thinking about like what kind of energies are out there in the universe that she is aligned with.
Yeah.
And she has been leaning into being a loner.
Yeah, she has this for a long time now.
Yeah, which is relatable.
Yeah.
And I do, as I think may have said before, I wonder how much she's sort of being neurodivergent, and that's just being read as tweener. But it's hard to tell.
Relatable.
Yeah.
Also relatable. Being treated as a tweener in life when you're just being yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would really like to see her get a little more of a chance to kind of publicly figure out who she is as a champion before that belt is taken off her. And I understand other people don't want that, and that's okay. Like, I think that's valid too.
Yeah. Another thought I have is, well, I basically agree. I think she retains. I think she should retain. I would like to see her handle the challenge from Tekla later, to lift Tekla up into that conversation.
So we talked in our last episode, like, how cool is it that they show Tekla waiting in the wings, and so you have this kind of like already a built-in kind of three-way title discussion. And I had kind of forgotten at that time that the original beef, or like the bigger feud, is between Tekla and Jamie Hayter.
Right.
So I was kind of like, oh shit, are they going to take it off stat so that Hayter and Tekla can then have their big feud?
Yeah.
Again, I think that would be better if it just simmers a little longer.
Yeah.
Like, do it in a month or two.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, just like let it get a little richer.
Yeah.
Before you start whipping belts off people. I mean, I don't know. It kind of could go either way, but I think Stat retains.
I think she retains. I can see a take where it's like, well, it's her first reign. Maybe it's short and she learns from it, and then she does other things.
Yeah, could be. But I'll be sad, honestly, because I just want to see her get a little bit more of a chance to.
I think it should be a little longer, and I think she wins. But
we'll see. And then so the really spicy, the real meat here, the very spicy meat of World's End is of course the end of the C2.
Yeah.
So I assume we're going to open, never having watched World's End before, I assume we're going to open the event with the two semifinal matches. And then the final, I assume the Men's World Championship is going to be the main event, but I think the C2 final should be the main event.
Could be.
I don't
Give
know.
them some time to rest.
Exactly. So we have some very spicy semifinals in that Takeshita and Okada are in the semifinals, and everyone was like, that's going to be the final. And people were either like excited or they were like, that's too predictable.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad that they were all wrong.
Everyone was wrong. We're getting that energy. We're getting it in a different place.
Correct. I'm very excited to see them go against each other, but I'm also pretty psyched that it's in the semifinals and not the finals.
Yeah.
I think, this is a tough one. I was originally, as soon as this was all announced, I was like, it's Takeshita's year. Takeshita's going to take it. Kind of do think Takeshita will win the semifinal at least. But just in the past day or two, I've started thinking about Mox.
That promo. He gave a C2 promo, and he's been giving C2 promos that have that sort of face energy, but this last one,
he wants it.
It's really interesting seeing him look like he's enjoying fighting clean.
Yes. I fucking love what they're doing with Mox. I love that the C2 could be a vehicle for Mox's face turn, and they don't have to show us him interacting with the Death Riders in a particular way.
Yeah.
It's happening all on his own within himself.
Yeah. I think the thought I had was it'd be funny if instead of him getting kicked out, he kicks himself out by being like, I want to fight clean now, guys.
Yeah, and I like in true like cult story fashion. Just think about it. If somebody tries to leave the cult, that's when they try to kill them.
Yeah, right.
So instead of the Death Riders trying to kill Mox by means of kicking him out, it could be like, how dare you try to leave?
Yeah.
And it's so much more interesting that way.
Pretty interesting.
And frankly, I'm getting really into the idea of Mox winning the C2.
I like the idea. It would be a left field move.
It would be really chaotic.
I mean, So there's only been the two. Eddie Kingston won the first, and
off
I had
Mox, right? Or not off Mox, but in the final against Mox.
It was a final against Mox, which I had not known or I had forgotten about since looking up how the C2 works. Right. And like, it would be kind of poetic for Mox to win
Get the win.
Yeah. Especially as like a face turn.
And then if he has a face turn, people are saying like maybe he could team up with Eddie again. I love this whole idea. I love it. And I think, Don Callis during Collision, which of course we didn't hear when we were there, but then when we were watching the broadcast, Don Callis is sitting at that desk going, "This is a win-win-win for the Don Callis family." And it's like, what if it isn't?
What if it's no win for the Don Callis family?
To start a huge kerfuffle in the Don Callis family because the three big stars and none of them can win. Is really fun.
That would be really fun. And there's a long-term story here as well. You mentioned Mox and Eddie. Yeah. Eddie having lost it for whatever reason, putting it up
to Okada.
Right. If this ends up being Mox Okada and Mox wins it and then babyface turns and joins with Eddie again, that's a really interesting long-term story.
Yeah. I still love the idea of Takeshita winning. He would be my other hope.
Yeah.
I just my priorities here are I don't really want Okada to keep it. So that's like kind of my top priority. And my second priority is chaos. Yeah. And I also think as far as the New Japan, like the build to Wrestle Kingdom and like the story that's unfolding with Takeshita and Okada extending their rivalry when it comes to New Japan stuff, I think maybe neither of them winning the C2 actually helps emphasize the New Japan part of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen, but I really am getting into the idea of Mox winning it.
I think it would be very fun.
It's so kooky. It turns everything on its head. And I love it.
I won't be surprised if it just comes down to like Takeshita versus Fletcher, which is also some interesting
That was my
energy.
initial prediction.
And
like,
then
it'll be
presumably
Takeshita v. Fletcher.
Wins, but
but either way, we're gonna feast.
Yeah, my hot take pick is Okada wins, Mox wins, and then Mox wins the whole thing. And if
that is a hot take, but
And if I may just hot take a little bit further. It would be really interesting to me is if Mox departs the Death Riders because he just loves fighting clean in the C2 so much. Yeah. But Kris loses her belt and is like, well, screw this, and joins the Death Riders. And
Orange is like, fuck this.
Fuck this, losing. My stuff isn't working. I'm joining the Death Riders.
Oh my God. Kris and Orange joining the Death Riders. And you just have Wheeler Yuta in the background going, yes! The family's back together. That would be absolutely fucking unhinged.
I know I'm just making shit up now.
I would be squealing in delight. Like, I will run through a brick wall if all that stuff happens.
It's nice to know that fun possibilities are out there.
Yeah. So I think that about, unless I'm forgetting something, I think that about wraps up our World's End preview and predictions.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to look forward to this coming week. AEW shows no signs of letting up. I assume that our next podcast will be back to our usual like Monday, Tuesday schedule, and that we would wind up rolling up World's End with the New Year's Eve Dynamite and then that following Collision, which is a ton of fucking graps. But thankfully, like, nobody's tuning in to us so that they get a breaking news play-by-play recap of pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Like, I think we should just kind of go with how the spirit moves us, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to wrap it up.
I think so.
Okay. Thank you again, as always, for joining us for another episode of Chatter Machine. Please find us on Blue Sky and Instagram at Chatter Machine. Email us at chattermachine@gmail.com. Please subscribe, give us a fabulous review wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. Thank you, as always, to Sasha Enda for the theme music. For details on that and for my silly little jokes and comments, please check out the show notes.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a happy holidays and a happy new year.
Be safe, be warm, enjoy, everybody.